Hey dorks, when serious work needs to get done, it takes a serious computer. Nowadays they throw an overkill video card, tons of RAM, and dozens of CPU cores in a box, but at the end of the day, they end up just being a more powerful version of what you got at home. More than likely it runs Windows, and while it's powerful, it doesn't feel special. 1993 was definitely a different time though. Workstations of that era used exotic CPUs, ran weird Unix variants, and were overall pretty neat. They were just machines for getting work done, but they had something to them that regular people didn't get to experience. Ever since I first heard about silicon graphics machines, I wanted to try them, but until recently I never got the chance. Silicon Graphics was founded in 1981, and by 1984 had released their first product, graphics terminals for mainframes called the irix 1000. Through the 80s, their machines used Motorola 68000 based CPUs, and they gained a reputation as being the systems to use for 3D animation and advanced visual effects. In 1987, they released their 4D line of workstations with MIPS CPUs instead of Motorola, and a few years after that, they acquired MIPS outright to ensure future availability and development of the platform. In 1991, the irix Indigo was released as a massive, imposing tower workstation. The Indigo was followed up with the Indigo2 in 1993 with more power and a much smaller desktop-style design. This is what we're going to look at today. The Indigo2 launched with the 100 MHz MIPS R4000 and shortly after launch with the 150 MHz R4400. The machine has 12 memory slots with a warning not to exceed 384 megabytes for thermal reasons. Exact prices have been hard to track down, but the base system was somewhere in the $30,000 range, right around $66,000 today. A full complement of RAM and an upgraded graphics card took it above $100,000 in 1993 dollars. The Indigo2 line continued up to 1997 and continually gained more power during its run. Later models included R8000 or R10000 CPUs and much more powerful accelerated 3D impact graphics. If you like exploring weird, interesting, or crimey machines of the past and doing dumb stuff with them, then maybe like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want behind-the-scenes ad-free early access to my videos and projects, you can check out my Patreon. It's $3 and there's some neat stuff up there, including all the music I use on the channel without me talking over it. The link is in the description. The model we have here today is on loan from my friend John from the Big Bad Bench. He rescued this thing from an e-waste bin. It's an early one with a 150 MHz R4400 and 96 megs of RAM. It doesn't need any repairs, but let's look inside to see what graphics we've got. On the back we've got PS2 ports for the mouse and keyboard, DIN-style serial ports that are compatible with Mac serial cables, AUI and RJ45 for Ethernet, 13W3 for video, a compact 50-pin SCSI port, and a bunch of audio I/O. Both of the internal hard drives are easily popped out after removing the faceplate. The top case is locked in with these eject clips on the front. The plastics on this case are remarkably thick and robust. When I first got this thing I was a little afraid to go in here, but at least my case here doesn't seem to be at risk of crumbling anytime soon. Looks like the graphics card is the top end one for the time, the Extreme Graphics. This was an $8,000 upgrade. Let's get these drives out of here and replace them with a blue SCSI. Look how over-engineered this thing is. The eagle-eyed among you might notice that this blue SCSI looks a little funny. It's an advanced test version of the new Ultra SCSI models. It's coming out soon, and let's just say it's fast, and you'll love it. You'll definitely be seeing these again in future videos. Oh, that's a pretty boot chime. Off camera, I've imaged both drives and put them on this blue SCSI. From what I've heard, this machine was formerly owned by someone that worked in the animation industry, and there might be some cool assets on here. I've been asked to dump the files off this thing. I do have credentials for a user account on here, so let's explore a bit and see what this thing was used for. Wow, it looks like there's an old MAME on here. Neat. Copy of Quake too. And some Atari emulators. Hey, an old copy of Blender. I have no idea what I'm doing here. This is so different from the modern version. I can't even figure out how to open a file. I don't think I'm going to be able to open any of this stuff. I imagine the software like Alias and RenderMan were all on network shares, but it's neat that all these work files are still here. Looks like to shut this machine down from the UI you need root access. Luckily, if you have physical access to the machine, pressing the power button on the front also kicks off the shutdown procedure. Let's see if we can get root access. I think I can get into a shell where I can edit the root password through the irix install CD, which I also have on the blue SCSI. Once I'm here, I can drop to a shell. I'll need to do a ch root. You can argue how that's supposed to be pronounced in the comments. So all of my tools and libraries are available, and then I can just run vi on etc password. Please feel free to whine about those pronunciations as well. Once I'm there, all I need to do is remove the password hash for the root user and I should be all set. And there we go, root access. Off camera, I'm going to set up NFS to dump the whole machine to a zip file now that I got access to everything. Let's do a clean install to a new disk image and see what we can play with. I'm going to go with the more era-appropriate irix 5.3 as opposed to 6.5. It's what this machine probably had on it when it was new. I love this user interface. It's clear and looks great for 1993. Look at this little wheel on the side of the window. It smoothly changes the icon size. The icons don't get pixelated either. Let's do a little desktop publishing the Silicon Graphics way with Iris Showcase. Look at this 3D stuff. Was there anything like this for Windows or Mac in 1993? I know these are just screensavers, but look how smooth this animation is. Let me remind you that the resolution here is 1280 by 1024. In 1993, Wow, these animations we're seeing here are running in real time, years before a typical computer could do anything of this speed and quality. Here's Meteor Blast, a little tech demo. I'm no good at it, but this is really impressive for the time. Of course, as soon as you turn the textures on, it becomes a slideshow. There are so many demos here. You can tell that they were really proud of what they'd built here and wanted to show off the capabilities. Look at the icon for the crash dump. Modern operating systems should bring back a little whimsy. Speaking of whimsy, look at this ridiculous file browser proof of concept. This flight simulator demo is incredible. It's so smooth. 60 frames per second, again at 1280 by 1024. I really wanted to find some CAD software so I could try my hand at building a 3D model with this, but unfortunately, era-appropriate software for these can be kind of hard to find. The best I could find was Photoshop 3, so I could do the famous blur benchmark. .6 seconds. Not sure how that competes with contemporary machines at the time. Not really this beast's wheelhouse. But I got a copy of Soft Windows on here, and let's see how the Windows version of Photoshop does the same test on here. You good? I don't think you're good. Okay, I think it's slower, so let's just skip ahead to the end. It was 5 minutes. That took 5 minutes. The irix native version of Photoshop was 52 times faster than under x86 emulation. Let's see how a Mac from the era compares with my friend Steve from Mac84.
Do benchmarks. What is this, Macworld magazine? I don't got time to do benchmarks. Come on, hurry up. You stupid computer. All right, yeah. Continue. You got the. What the heck?
Well, I guess Steve is having some technical issues. I'll just try it myself on the PowerMac 6100. If you'd like to know more about this machine, check out my 6100 video. The link is in the description. The 3D performance of this thing isn't lighting the world on fire. Flight Simulator here is playable, but as you can see, it's not exactly smooth. And now for the Photoshop test. It's not quite as slow as the emulated PC, but significantly slower than the native Silicon Graphics Photoshop test. We got 22.5 seconds. Let's see how a PC of the era compares with my friend Justin D. Morgan.
To represent the Wintel corner of the computer market in the mid-90s, I have what might be my most average PC from 1995. An IBM PC 350 model 6586. Yes, it's an IBM, but it sports an Intel-designed motherboard with the 430FX Triton chipset and onboard S3 Trio 64 graphics. It's really another beige box, but with an IBM logo! I have clocked the processor at 90 MHz to best represent an average PC from 95. This system shipped with 256K of cache and 1 MB of VRAM. I have upgraded the VRAM to 2 MB and installed 32 MB of RAM for real professional gaming use at 800 by 600 with millions of colors. And yes, Macs aren't the only computers with brittle plastic, though in this case, it's Gerstner plastic. Let's take a look at some benchmarks. Starting off with the Superscape benchmark. This benchmark draws frames as fast as it can, so it's not a great demonstration of potentially smooth 3D. However, it manages a score of 82.1 frames per second. Next, we have Chris's 3D benchmark, which appears to be keeping a consistent frame rate, but manages to achieve only 22.4 frames per second. And with the PC Player benchmark, we finally have a benchmark that drops frames instead of slowing down. A tough benchmark for all but the beefiest systems, and it manages a score of 9.2. Gutbomb suggested that I try IndyCar Racing by Papyrus Software. I remember trying to play this game back then, and I don't remember being impressed. To me, it looks like the game struggles to keep a consistent frame rate, but it might be because the game appears to have a frame cap too. Oh, and manual-based copy protection. How quaint. Now that fun time is over, let's run a... Did the PC just restart? Why, yes it did! Looks like DOS 4GW left the system in a bad state for running Windows. This is one of the disadvantages of MS-DOS and everything directly accessing hardware instead of taking the performance hit of going through the BIOS. One fresh restart later, and we'll do the Gaussian blur test in Photoshop 3.0. Looks like it finished in 8 seconds. And with that, I'll turn the video over to Gutbomb for his final thoughts on this PC's abilities.
Thanks, Justin. While the PC did hold its own as far as 3D, it's important to remember that the Indigo2 is doing all this at 1280 by 1024, while the DOS benchmarks were 640 by 480, and IndyCar Racing was 320 by 200. As for the Photoshop test, the Indigo2 is about 2.5 seconds faster. Nice. So overall, this machine is really neat. I was blown away by the 3D performance of a computer from 1993. The lines between workstation and regular computer have blurred over time, so modern powerhouse computers just don't seem as exotic or exciting. It's really impressive to me the extra care was put into the UI and user experience of such a specialized tool. Lots of Unix machines at the time had far more bare-bones interfaces and not a lot of focus on multimedia. The machine itself was powerful, but the software they built for it really took it to the next level for me. I'm really glad I got to experience it. What an incredibly neat computer. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see me do more stupid stuff with computers, stay tuned.